Zordon just won. Cuomo conceded. This is the first time I have felt hope since 2016. And I don't think that I realized that I was so devoid of hope in politics. I'm so thankful for everyone who has put their time and money on the line to work for Zordon's campaign. I know so many people who were involved, and I'll definitely be canvassing for the general election. And I'm so excited, but I feel like I'm at the top of a bridge and I know somebody's going to push me off.
You might be right. And if that is the case, the person probably going to push you off is you. You're going to push you off that bridge because you have to be an absolute smooth-brained Mongol to vote for your own destruction in the way that you just did. And this goes out to all of New York City and all of its unhinged liberals. Y'all just voted, forget this, a jihadist, Hamas sympathizing, pro-alphabet community, communist mayor. You guys deserve everything that's coming to you in the next couple of years. I'm just going to say that straight up. And as a conservative, I actually feel that this may just be God ordained. This may be the very best thing that could happen for y'all. Because sometimes you have to smack your head so damn hard. I'm talking about cracking of the skull in order to finally realize how much of an idiot you actually are. I'm talking about all of us. I have been in this, right? I came from addiction. I gave myself over to that life in the streets, trying to be somebody I wasn't. And I damn near had to crack my head open and lose my life before I realized, I'm actually being an idiot. Things that I'm doing are not exactly serving me. Now, white liberal women, they are what I call the foundation of this mass psychosis. They are leading the charge. Then on top of that, you have their husbands, the ones that they walk around on a leash, the ones who allow for their liberal wives to have a conservative boyfriend, whom both are taken care of by the liberal, quote unquote, man. I use that term very loosely. These are the white dudes for Kamala. And then on top of that, we have the puppet masters, who are the alphabet people, who are just now in full blown mass control. Like they are the puppet master. They are the ruling class. They are the overlords of this woke progressive movement. And that's who the hell voted this. It's better for me to show y'all than to tell y'all. So I just thought I'd bring a little bit of a presentation for us today. Here we go. This right here is the aftermath, the celebration right after they voted for their own death. Right here. They're celebrating their own funeral. Bought their own casket and everything. Watch this. Let's do a little demo breakdown in this crowd here. Now, as you probably notice, if I just do a quick run through, you see a whole lot of, that's right, whole lot of white. All right, now let's get into specifics. So first, we have here the foundation, as I called it, the white liberal woman, 52 to 55% of which are indeed classified as mentally ill. So we have the mentally ill at the foundation. Then next we have right there, right? Likely her husband who supports her lifestyle as well as her boyfriend's lifestyle. Sometimes he tunes in to watch. And then, of course, we are surrounded by Right here. These are the puppet masters. You can tell by the 1970s mustache, Freddie Mercury style. Right there. Booyah. Booyah. What? You literally cannot make this up. It all writes itself. That's why it's this easy for me. I don't do scripting, any of that, because it's right there, right in front of us. All I do is point out what the hell we're looking at. Simple. So these guys are the ones who are the puppet masters. Now, they all come together to make this perfect, almost sandwich-like structure, right? You have the base, you have the in-between, and then you have the top level or layer of bread. I was going to use like an icing on the cake type of thing, but I don't like the imagery of the alphabets being the cream on the top. You know what I mean? I'm cool off that. So these are the people who voted in Lord Zordon, who will now be, I guess, who will now be their socialist ruler, who is looking to turn their grocery stores, and this is literally his own policy suggestions. How about we turn grocery stores into government owned? You know, what could go terribly wrong there? Soviet Russia. What could possibly go wrong with the government, the state owning everything and you owning nothing? I mean, we would bring down prices to virtually nothing. Tax the rich, eat the rich. I mean, it's pretty much going to be the only thing left to eat because everybody else will be starving. So we have Lord Zordon. Now, I do want to get into the character, the personality of who this guy is. And I thought that the best way would be to look at some of these past tweets that have, I guess, surfaced as a byproduct of this guy being... I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I have to remember this is New York in 2025 we're talking about. This is Gotham. These are insane people. They're unwell. So let's see what we have here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I'll make sure to read it out to you as best as I can. All right. So number one, we have queer liberation meets defund the police. Okay. Then we have no, we want to defund the police. See, these are mutual red flags. You have communism on one side, and then you have the ideology of like defunding those who are supposed to be protecting their citizenry. If you have a communist regime that comes in and the first thing they do is to get rid of your police enforcement, connect the dots. All right? Just connect the dots. They take away your ability to defend yourself. It's a little sketch. From coast to coast right now, mayors and governors, let me bring this back up. From coast to coast right now, mayors and governors of deep blue cities and states are collaborating with a violent right-wing government to enforce curfews, round up protesters, and run them down in the street. So basically what he was alluding to is, I don't know, maybe the president doing his job, exactly what we voted for as the majority in this country, to have our streets cleaned up of the same criminality that's been taking place in places like New York City for the last 4 years. Again, this is just suggestions, right? Okay, and then we have, what is this? We'll have to wait to see if our lead holds, but to be leading even amidst a global pandemic makes it clear another world really is possible. Together we can tax the rich. Oh, here we go. Heal the sick. House the poor. So here's the deepest irony. Let's get into a little bit of economics. Okay, so when they talk about tax the rich, what they're talking about is like a 50, 90% taxation on the wealthy, which in reality means that those people leave. That's what happens. So you no longer have the rich. So you can't tax them and you can't eat them because they're not there anymore. Fantastic. Who do you have left? What was the middle class then becomes a poverty class because, well, who's creating the jobs anymore? Government? Where's government getting the money? Tax dollars? Where are the tax dollars coming from? Whoever's left there? You see how that works? You see, Now you have to tax that population even higher. Heal the sick, which is probably getting into healthcare. So now even higher costs are incurred because you now have this free healthcare system. Fantastic. Who's paying for it? Still you, who is technically owning nothing and essentially working for the government, just like everybody. Happy govy, happy lovey, right? Next we have house the poor. Okay, you're the poor now. You're the poor. That's you. You are now poor. Maybe you're poor right now, but it's a different kind of poor. There's no upward mobility. We are now in a communist regime. Everything is run by the state. It is owned by the system per se, because that creates equality for everybody, of course, except for Lord Zordon and his cronies. But let's just ignore that part. So we're healing the sick, higher taxes for you who already has no money. So we're housing you, who is now the poor, with your money that you don't have. Got it. It's almost like there's a reason why this system has never worked ever in history and has only led to extreme poverty as well as mass genocide. But anyway, what else? Oh, defund the police. So no more protection. So you who is now in these impoverished areas, everybody's poor. There's no upward mobility. There's nothing really going on besides you being property of the state. Now you have no police enforcement. Therefore, crime is reigning free. Congratulations. You screwed yourself. And then building a socialist New York. Yeah, that's pretty much the icing on the cake. The alphabet icing on the cake. Lastly, we have this. We can't reform a system working exactly as designed. Oh, let me bring this back up for y'all. We can't reform a system working as designed to control Black, brown, and poor New Yorkers. We need to defund the police. Get them out. Get them out of matters they have no business in. Free the thousands of locked up injustice. Ooh, okay. So now we're also releasing those who are currently in prison. Fantastic idea. I think that's going to run over really, really well. And invest the savings in those. Now, I do have to say this because this just came up in mind right now. It's ironic because New York is one of the most expensive cities. Like New York City is one of the most expensive cities in the country, if not the world, right? It's like San Francisco, which is another complete shithole. But anyway, New York has a yuppie class, like these, upper middle class, almost 1%ers that are working there, living in Manhattan, living in Staten Island, blah, 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 whatever, right? You have this sort of, you have a class of delusional white people who've actually never been around true poverty before. So they have these ideas, and many of them even maybe coming from money, etc. So they have these ideas of, wow, we're going to change the world. We're going to save the world by becoming socialists. But their wealth comes from a capitalist society, and them giving up their capitalist society and creating a socialist environment. What I'm basically saying is these are delusional, rich white people who are essentially burning their own houses down. But they don't understand that's what they're doing. Not quite yet, because they've never actually experienced it. That's why I believe this may be a God ordained. I believe this may be a blessing in disguise for everybody, right? Because either New York is gone, dissipated, gone. We loved it so much. Thank you for being one of the founding principles of what is now America. But if that's what y'all chose, that's what y'all get. Or they're going to become the reddest state that has ever been. Period. Now, let's get a little more insight into who this guy is. I just wanted, out of so many things we could choose, I thought to myself, I like to get nuanced aspects of somebody's character, their personality, and something we can break down in between the lines. So here we have a clip of none other than Lord Zordon.
Because I think that New Yorkers, more than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
Kamala, anybody?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there are different parts of my life.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way. Here in New York City.
Oh, that's interesting. So he's a Nepo baby. Grew up in wealth. And is now selling the idea. So how fitting a pro-jihadist, Hamas sympathizing, pro-LGBTQ and all of these community, socialist, communist. This is the left. I mean, he's basically their perfect spawn if you really think about it. He's like, I don't think AOC is on this damn level of like intersectionality, and he's brown and he's African, but he's not. He's an immigrant as well. Just became like a citizen 7 years ago. This is you can't make this shit up. You can't make this.
This is how I speak. This is how I am.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, yeah. Pro illegal immigration. Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, this is part 1 of probably a very long series of updates on what the hell is going to be going on in New York. I'm probably going to do actually another one today, just like how did we get here? How did we get to the place where you have New Yorkers who no more than 30 years ago, 24 years at this point, experienced the greatest tragedy in likely American history, besides obviously the wars, if we go back to Civil War, etc. Likely the greatest modern tragedy in America happened in New York City. The same people 20 some odd years later elect that guy. Yikes. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.